Okay, so in yesterday class, I discussed about configuration based injection. Okay, in today class, I will discuss about setter based dependency injection and field based dependency injection. Okay, setter based dependency injection and field based dependency injection. So in dependency injection, we inject one class object into another class in three ways. Okay, first way is constructor based dependency injection, second way is setter based dependency injection, third way is field based dependency injection. Okay, so in yesterday class I discussed already about constructor based dependency injection. Okay, so in today class I will discuss about setter based dependency injection and field based dependency injection. Guys, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, any idea about setters? See, like this, we are injecting multiple bills in single constructor. Okay, we like this, will do constructor based dependency injection. Now I will explain setter based dependency injection. There is a one shortcut for setter based dependency injection. Right click, generate setters. Okay, right click, generate setters. Here we have two classes are there. Okay, one is email service and another one is SMS service. So it provide two services. So first I use one dependency, that is email service. That's it. Setter based dependency injection. And for that we need to annotate it with @auto-void annotation. Okay. So now I will run this application. What it will give? It will give compile time exception. It will give, see, no unique bean definition exception. No unique bean definition exception. Why? Because here in this message sender we only provide message service. Okay, we only send interface as an argument. Here we send an interface as an argument. For this interface we have two implementations are there. Okay, for this interface we have two implementation classes are there. See, one is email service and another one is SMS services. Okay, at this time IOC container to create Spring Beans, IOC container facing ambiguity problem. That's why it throws this no unique bean definition exception occurred. This exception it throws. Okay. No qualifying bean of type available. Single match bean. Here it is expecting single bean, but here it found two beans are found. One is email service and another one is SMS service. So now what to clear this error, what we will do?
@qualifier.
Correct. @qualifier. We need to give @qualifier annotation. And inside this parenthesis, inside this parameters, we need to pass bean name. Okay. What is the naming convention? How Spring IOC container create this Spring Bean? That means what is the naming convention? It follows.
Class name, but first letter is small.
Correct. So Spring Bean follows the same whenever Spring IOC container create the spring bean, it follows the naming convention is it is exactly create class name, but the first letter should be small. That's it. Next, email service. Run. See, sending mail, and message service. It implements two classes. So email service is sending this data, but see, SMS service is null. That's why it throws null pointer exception. Okay. Here, this message service, in this message sender, message service interface, it implements two classes. So email service, it gives output. Email service, it gives sending email. But SMS service, it throws null pointer exception. Why? We are not passing SMS sender class. We are not passing SMS service class. So inside this message sender, comma, same message service, SMS service. Message service and SMS service. No unique bean definition. In this message sender class, use @qualifier annotation. SMS service. SMS service. Okay. Now run the application. So sending email, it again is throws null pointer exception. Then we will do another thing, another step, that is generate setters SMS service. Generate setters SMS service, or just comment it. Generate setters, select two services, and use @auto-id annotation. @auto-id annotation. Comma. Here same SMS service. Shift qualifier. Email service. message service email service. Okay, again we need to use shift@, qualifier to copy this service. Here dot assign this parameter, this parameter to assign this parameter to this variable. Okay, assign this parameter to this variable name. That's it. Now we will run this application. Sending emails, sending SMS. See guys, I didn't do anything. Just I create one setter method. Okay, I create one setter method. Inside that method I passes two argument. I pass two argument. One is email service and another one is SMS services. Okay, here I want to create bean for these two classes also. Okay, I want to create beans for these two classes. That's why I will give @qualifier annotation. Okay, instead of two times creating this setters method, in one setter method only we are able to pass multiple beans. We are able to pass multiple classes. Okay, so this is about set SMS service. Okay, this is about setters method. Okay, any doubt? Just we didn't do anything, just to create one setter method. Inside this setter method pass the arguments. Inside the setter methods pass the arguments. So if in this project we have only two classes, one is email service and SMS services, two classes are there. But in real time if you want to pass more than two, it is better to move constructor based dependency injection. Okay, it is better to move constructor based dependency injection. This is about setter method, and the last method is field method, and the last method is field based injection. Last method is field based injection. Last method is field based injection. So in this is nothing but a fields. Okay, private message service email service is nothing but a fields. So I will comment this setter based dependency injection. I will run the code. See, it throws a null pointer exception. Why? Because we are not passing any classes to IOC container for creating spring beans. Okay, so that's why it throws null pointer exception. We are not passing any classes to IOC container to creating spring beans. That's why it throws null pointer exception. In the message center class, we have two fields are there. Just for these two fields, annotated with auto void. Next, @qualifier email service. That's it. Is @auto void. These field services are very simple. Okay, these field services are very simple. But unfortunately, these three compared to constructor based dependency injection, setter based dependency injection, field based dependency injection. We have 3 injections are there, right? So the most easy one is field based dependency injection, but compared to other two ways, it has there might be a chances to get more issues. Okay, there might be chances to get more issues, and we are facing some code readability issues also. Okay, but in current market mostly they will use this field annotations only, field based dependency injections only. Okay, it gives compared to these two, constructor based injection, setter based injection, compared to these injections, this field injection is very easy, but it throws some, it gives some performance issue. But in current market all developers will use this field injection only. Okay, some very less number of developers will use constructor based dependency injection. Okay, now when to use constructor based dependency injection and when to use field based dependency injection, when to use setter based dependency injection. Okay, ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఇఫ్ యూ మీకు ఏదైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ డౌట్ ఆస్క్ మీ.
Sir, how we will come to know that it is a field-based injection?
It's nothing but a variable. It's a field, right?
I mean, like
private message service, email service. This is the field, right? That's why it is a field based injection. This is the constructor. That's why it is a constructor based injection. Here we are setting the email services. That's why set is right, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's a setter based injection. Akshay, Mohan, Manjunada, Priyanka, Sandeep, Shashi, Shashank. ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ బేస్డ్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఇంజెక్షన్, సెట్టర్ బేస్డ్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఇంజెక్షన్, ఫీల్డ్ బేస్డ్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఇంజెక్షన్. మీరు స్ప్రింగ్ ఫ్రేమ్ వర్క్ యూజ్ చేసిన, స్ప్రింగ్ బూట్ యూజ్ చేసిన ఈ డిపెండెన్సీ ఇంజెక్షన్ అనేది కామన్. ఓకే, నేను మ్యాక్సిమం లేటెస్ట్ వెర్షన్స్ చెప్తున్నా, మార్కెట్ యూజ్ చేసిన వెర్షన్స్ చెప్తున్నా. ఇవన్నీ మీకు యూజ్ఫుల్లే. మళ్ళీ అక్కడికి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత ఈ ఆటోవైడ్ యానోటేషన్ నేను ఎక్కడో చూసానే, ఈ క్వాలిఫైర్ యానోటేషన్ ఎక్కడో చూసాను, కరెక్ట్గా నాకు గుర్తులేదు అని అనకండి. సో ఏమైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే ఇప్పుడే అడగండి. ఓకే, setter injection uses the setter method to inject dependency on any spring managed bean. Okay, to inject dependency on any spring managed bean, we have to annotate the setter method with the @auto_add annotation. Okay, next spring will find the @auto_add annotation and call the setter to inject the dependencies. Okay, field injection. ఈ పాయింట్స్ అర్థానే అంటే ఇట్స్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ నార్మల్ ఇంగ్లీష్. Just try to understand. Setter injection uses the setter method. Setter method is nothing but this method. This is the setter method. Okay, see this keyword set. These two are setter methods to inject dependency on any spring managed bean. Dependencies is nothing but email service, and SMS service. These two are the dependencies. Sector method is used to inject dependencies on any Spring managed bean. Okay. Next one. We have to annotate the setter method with the @autovide annotation. See here, we annotated the setter method with @autovide annotation. Spring will find the @autovide annotation and call the setter to inject the dependencies. Spring IOC container, enter this method. After that, it calls this @autovide annotation to inject the dependencies. Okay. Now, when we will use constructor based dependency injection and when we will use setter based dependency injection means, I will give one small example. New class demo dependency. New class demo dependency. Here we have one dependency, A dependency is there. Dependency A. And another dependency B is there. Class dependency B is there. Dependency. Next, class dependency C's 3 classes are available. Okay. For example, I want to in this. See, I want to inject all these spring beans. Okay, I want to use all these spring beans. At that time, we will use constructor based dependency injection. Okay, if you want to inject all dependencies are mandatory. Okay, if you want to inject all dependencies, at that time we will use this constructor based dependency injection. First, private dependency A. This is nothing but a field. Okay. Next, what is this? చూసుకోండి కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ని చేయాలంటే కంట్రోల్ షిఫ్ట్ private first class name is dependency A. I want to use this dependency A also. Dependency A. Next, create one instance for that. Next, private for these 3 classes. Similarly, we need to create dependencies. Dependency B. Instance for the dependency. Private dependency C and instances for that. Next, create constructor. So, how to create constructor? Anyone tell me? అంటే ఇక్కడ మనం వేరియబుల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత మనం కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ని సజెన్ చేస్తాం కదమ్మా. సో దట్స్ వై హియర్ ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ దీస్ వేరియబుల్స్. ఓకే, దీన్ని క్లాస్ మెంబర్స్ అయినా అంటారు, ఫీల్డ్స్ అయినా అంటారు, సమ్ టైమ్స్ వేరియబుల్స్ అని కూడా అంటారు. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి, హౌ టు క్రియేట్ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్స్?
Access modifier along with class name.
Correct. Public demo dependency is the class name. Next, we need to pass this all the arguments. Okay, when we will use constructor injection, when you need to inject all the class dependencies, when you need to inject all the dependency. Okay, So injecting all the dependencies is mandatory. At that time, constructor dependency injection is good to use. Good to use. See, we are passing this class and this instance. Class dependency B and this instance. Dependency C and this instance. We are assigning this instance to this value. We are assigning this dependency B to this value, dependency C to this dependency C value. That's it. If you want to inject all classes dependencies at the time, constructor dependency injection is performance. It gives better performance. Okay. Next, for example, if you want to use, see, this dependency A class is mandatory, dependency C class is mandatory, but you don't no need to inject dependency B. Okay, dependency A and C, dependency A and C is mandatory, dependency B is optional. At that time, we are not injecting all the classes, right? We are not injecting all the classes. We are injecting only two classes. At that time, it is better to use setter injections. It is better to use setter injections. How to create setter injections? Right click, generate. Right click, generate. We need to give right click, generate setter. See, I am injecting only two dependencies. I am injecting only two dependencies. Then that is at that time, if you want to if there is any optional dependencies are available in your project, at that time it is better to use setter injection. Okay, it is better to use setter injection. Okay, these are about the constructor and setter injection. Field injection, field injection, uh, field injection. Field injection, nothing but this is the field injection. We are injecting those three dependencies. For these, only so many. Yeah, that means field injection is not good for our project performance wise. And code lines తగ్గించవచ్చు కానీ performance wise it's not good. Okay, why it's not good means here we are using reflection. Okay, here we are using reflection. That means field injection and reflection field injection is a specific way to performing dependency injection. Okay, but field, why we are using reflection injection means here we are using private modifier, right? Here we are using private modifier. So to inject dependencies into private variables, Spring uses reflections to access and set up these fields. Okay, set up these fields. That means private is the access modifier. Outside the class, outside the method also we are not able to inject. Outside the method also we are not able to use. But by using reflection, okay. So here to inject dependencies into private fields, Spring uses reflection to access and set the values to these fields. Okay. This note cheskondi point. Private field యాక్సెస్. ఇది ఏంటంటే విత్ ఫీల్డ్ ఇంజెక్షన్ the depend ఇక్కడ ఉంది or inject directly the class is the least because it makes the so చూడండి private field access with field injection the dependencies are injected directly into the fields of the class. This is done by the Spring privacy container. సో కాదు ఇది కాదు నేను చెప్పాను. So the dependencies are the dependencies with field injections to inject dependencies into private fields Spring uses reflection to access and the values of these fields. So చూడమ్మా నీ ఫీల్డ్ ఇంజెక్షన్ ఇస్ అంటే మనం ఇక్కడ ప్రైవేట్ వేరియబుల్స్ ప్రైవేట్ మాడిఫైర్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం కదా. ఇన్ దిస్ ప్రైవేట్ మాడిఫైయర్స్ ఫీల్డ్ ఇంజెక్షన్ ఈస్ ఈ ప్రైవేట్ మాడిఫైర్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ ప్రైవేట్ then we can't access outside the method, we can't access outside the class also, but to access these private fields there is a one process called reflection. By using this reflection we can able to access outside the class also. Okay, by using this reflection we can able to access outside the class also. That's why here in this process it uses reflections. Okay, so by using reflection there may be a chances to decrease the security for our application. Okay, so appudu enti vastante we got security issues. That's why this field injection is not preferable. But while field injection is a convenient and it's a concise way to manage the dependencies. Concise way is nothing but a less codes. In these 3 lines of code only we are simply injecting the dependencies, right? So it is a convenient way, but it uses reflection process. That reflection process, by using that reflection process there might be a chances to get security issues for our application. That's why field injection is not recommended. And another thing is when you write the JUnit test cases, okay, field injection can make it more difficult to test a beam. Okay, అంటే ఫీల్డ్ ఇంజెక్షన్ మనం చేస్తే మనం టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ రాసేటప్పుడు we can face a lot of problems to okay, as the dependencies, these dependencies ఉన్నాయి కదా, dependencies are every time we need to give those dependencies in JUnit test cases. we will every time we need to check the arguments. Okay, JUnit test cases అనేది మనం రాసిన క్లాస్ whether it is working fine or not అని చెక్ చేయడం కోసం we will use JUnit test cases and mock it. Okay, so not only performance wise issues, the Spring framework documentation ఉంటుంది కదా, అఫీషియల్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ స్ప్రింగ్ వాళ్ళు ప్రొవైడ్ చేసే డాక్యుమెంటేషన్ లో కూడా వాళ్ళు మెన్షన్ చేశారు ఏంటి, దిస్ ఫీల్డ్ ఇంజెక్షన్ ఈజ్ నాట్ రికమెండెడ్ డ్యూ టు ది లాట్ ఆఫ్ డ్రాబ్యాక్స్ అని చెప్పేసి. ఆ డ్రాబ్యాక్స్ ఏంటంటే ఇట్ మెయిన్ డ్రాబ్యాక్ ఇట్ యూజెస్ రిఫ్లెక్షన్ ప్రాసెస్. సో మెనీ స్ప్రింగ్ experts recommend to use constructor based dependency injection. Okay, so if you use constructor based dependency injection, real time projects lo must and should ga manam JUnit test cases రాయాలి. Okay, so passing the JUnit test case is not a simple process. So every time we need to ప్రతి క్లాస్ కి కూడా JUnit టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ రాయాలి, ఆ JUnit టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ పాస్ అవ్వాలి. సో every time we need to check that JUnit test cases. Okay, if you use this field injection, it is very difficult to pass the test cases. If you use this constructor injections, it is very simple. That's why the Spring experts also recommended to use constructor dependency injection only. Okay, and another thing is, see, when I use final, when you use final, that means it is a immutable. That means we can't change this dependency after that. Okay, when you use final keyword, then dependency is this field based dependency injection is not supported. See, it throws compile time error. Variable email service might not have been initialized. Okay, so only constructor injection ensures that the bean dependencies are final. అదే మనం కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ఇంజెక్షన్స్ యూజ్ చేసామంటే చూడండి, the error is gone. Okay, ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే మనం ఇక్కడ ఫైనల్ యూజ్ చేస్తే మనకి మెసేజ్ సర్వీసెస్ అనేది ఫ్యూచర్ లో చేంజ్ చేయడం అవ్వదు. ఓకే, ఈమెయిల్ సర్వీసెస్ చేంజ్ చేయడం అవ్వదు, SMS సర్వీసెస్ కూడా చేంజ్ చేయడం అవ్వదు. బట్ సెక్యూరిటీ ఫర్ ది అప్లికేషన్. ఓకే, బట్ ఫీల్డ్ ఇంజెక్షన్ అనేది ఆ ఫైనల్ కీవర్డ్ నే తీసుకోవట్లేదు. ఓకే, ఓన్లీ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ఇంజెక్షన్, నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఫీల్డ్ ఇంజెక్షన్. ఇక్కడ సెట్టింగ్ ఇట్ థ్రోస్ కంపైల్ టైమ్ ఎర్రర్. మనకి సెక్యూరిటీ ఏది ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుందంటే ఓన్లీ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ బేస్డ్ ఇంజెక్షన్. ఇట్ ప్రొవైడ్స్ మోర్ సెక్యూరిటీ అండ్ ఇట్ ఆల్సో provides a good way to test your application. Okay, so this constructor injection makes it easier to test a application. Okay, this is all about setter based dependency injection, constructor based dependency injection, field based dependency injection. This is also about this dependency injection. So ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఈ క్లాస్ లో, అర్థం కాకపోవడం కానీ ఏమైనా? ఇక్కడ నేను చెప్పిన మూడు పాయింట్లు. ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఏంటంటే కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ బేస్డ్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఇంజెక్షన్ యూజ్ చేయడం చాలా బెస్ట్. ఎందుకు అంటే ఇట్ ప్రొవైడ్స్ ఏ అప్లికేషన్ టెస్ట్ చేయడానికి. ఓకే, ప్రతి క్లాస్కి మనం JUnit టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ మన రియల్ టైం ప్రాజెక్ట్లో రాయాలి. ఓకే, సో అప్లికేషన్ టెస్ట్ చేయడానికి కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ బేస్డ్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఇంజెక్షన్ అనేది చాలా ఈజీ చేస్తుంది. సెకండ్ ప్రాసెస్ ఏంటంటే ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ వేరియబుల్స్ అనేది ఫైనల్గా డిక్లేర్ చేశారో సెట్టర్ బేస్డ్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఇంజెక్షన్, ఫీల్డ్ బేస్డ్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఇంజెక్షన్ అవి రికమెండెడ్ కాదు. వై? బికాస్ ఇట్ థ్రోస్ ఎ కంపైల్ టైమ్ ఎర్రర్. దే ఆర్ నాట్ సపోర్టెడ్. ఓకే, ఎట్ ద టైమ్ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ బేస్డ్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఇంజెక్షన్ ఓన్లీ ఇట్ ప్రొవైడ్స్, దట్ మీన్స్ ఇట్ ప్రొవైడ్స్ సెక్యూరిటీ. ఓకే, ఫైనల్ అంటే ఏంటి? వి కాంట్ చేంజ్ ది ఎలిమెంట్స్. ఓకే, ఫైనల్ అంటే మనం ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఆ క్లాస్ మెథడ్ని చేంజ్ చేయకూడదు. ఓకే, ఒకవేళ చేంజ్ చేసేలా ఉంటే ఆ మెథడ్ని ఫైనల్ అని డిక్లేర్ చేయకూడదు. ఓకే, సో ఫైనల్ అంటే మోర్ సెక్యూరిటీ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, సో ఎట్ ద టైమ్ ఓన్లీ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ఇంజెక్షన్ ఓన్లీ రికమెండెడ్. ఓకే, కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ఇంజెక్షనే సపోర్ట్ చేస్తుంది. అండ్ సో ఇంకొక పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ఇంజెక్షన్ అనేది ఇట్ గ్యారంటీస్ దట్ ఆల్ రిక్వైర్డ్ డిపెండెన్సీస్ ఆర్ ప్రొవైడెడ్ అట్ ది కన్స్ట్రక్షన్. అంటే మనకేంటి, అన్ని డిపెండెన్సీస్ మ్యాండేటరీగా we need to inject all dependencies are mandatory. At that time constructor is better. Okay, if you want to inject some optional, if you want to inject some classes, if you don't want to inject some classes, at the time setter based injection is fine. Okay, so this is about the constructor based dependency injection, setter based dependency injection, field based dependency injection. ఓకే, ఏం డౌట్ లేవు కదా? సో నేను ఒకటి చెప్తాను చూడండి. ఫస్ట్ ఏంటంటే ఈరోజు మీ మెయిల్ ఐడీస్ అన్నీ కూడా వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్లో వితిన్ 1 అవర్లో నాకు పెట్టాలి. ఓకే, సో నేనేంటంటే టీమ్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఆ టీమ్స్ గ్రూప్లో మిమ్మల్ని అందరినీ యాడ్ చేస్తాను. మిమ్మల్ని కాదు, ఎడిషనల్గా ఒక స్క్రమ్ మాస్టర్ని మీకు మోస్ట్లీ టుమారో ఆర్ మండే ఐ విల్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్. ఓకే, okay, so tomorrow also we have class. I will tell the class timings in group chat. Okay, thank you.